Let me tell you something that might shift your entire self-image in the next 30 seconds. You were never too much. They were just too little for what you brought to the table. Too little emotionally, too little in effort, too little in capacity, too little in maturity, but definitely not you being too big. Let's talk about it. 1. They couldn't handle your depth. Some people only know shallow waters, surface-level emotions, half-hearted effort, low emotional bandwidth. So when someone deep shows up, someone who loves wholeheartedly, someone who communicates honestly, someone who feels intensely, it exposes their limitations. Your depth didn't scare them. Their lack of depth scared them. They weren't overwhelmed by you. They were overwhelmed by what they weren't. 2. You loved in a way they weren't ready to receive. When you have a big heart, you don't do minimal. You show up, you care, you give presence, consistency, and effort. But here's the psychology. People with low self-worth or emotional unavailability translate love as pressure, not support. Your consistency made them feel inconsistent. Your clarity highlighted their confusion. Your love made their emotional absence look louder. That's not your fault. That's their readiness or the lack of it. 3. You triggered accountability. They weren't willing to face your emotional intelligence, your empathy, your self-awareness, your ability to communicate. All those things quietly called them higher. And instead of rising to meet you, they chose to shrink away from you. Not because you asked for too much, but because they were giving too little and didn't want to own that. 4. They benefited from you, but couldn't match you. Let's be real with this one. You became the safe space, the support line, the emotional home, the listener, the one who tried. But when it was time for them to reciprocate, crickets, inconsistency, half-effort, excuses. You weren't asking for luxury. You were asking for basic emotional equity, and they couldn't afford it. 5. The real reason they said you were too much. When someone says you're too sensitive, too emotional, too expressive, too intense, too invested, what they're really saying is, I can't meet you where you are, and I don't want to grow to get there. It's easier for people to label your capacity a problem than admit their limitations. 6. What happens when you finally meet someone who matches you? Here's the plot twist. To the right person, your depth feels like safety, your clarity feels like peace, your passion feels like home, your intensity feels like alignment, your heart feels like a blessing, not a burden. You were never too much. You were simply misplaced. The moment you meet someone who matches your emotional bandwidth, you'll realize you were always the perfect amount. Listen, stop shrinking to fit people who never had the capacity to hold you. You're not too much, you're just not for people who prefer the bare minimum. If you're ready to start choosing people who can actually meet you, hit subscribe and stick around. This is your era of alignment, not accommodation. Let's keep healing smarter, deeper, and freer.